Aries, thanks for stopping in. This is B with Clarity with B. I already kind of started your spread because I started to meditate to channel your energy, and I started to feel like super anxious and getting a lot of tension in my back, feeling like super agitated. And then I just started like taking notes, and it was like one thing after another. So I'm going to try to catch you up super quick, right? I did a roll and I got Saturn, Virgo in the 5th house. And I'm like, okay, well, there's like this need to, you know, get kind of a structure with things, but also, you know, learn how to kind of bring more emotion and play and things like that, and incorporate hobbies. And it's like, okay, well, that makes sense because I'm feeling super anxious and super tense. Like, cool. And the Saturn's like the taskmaster of the zodiac, but it also deals with like our lessons and our karma and stuff. So then I went to my astro cards because I was like, okay, let's get a little bit more on this so I can kind of see where we're coming from. Well, South Node came out, so that's our old life karma, right? That's our comfort zone. And then I got 3rd house, communication, you know, an interaction with others. Aquarius, which is like the rebel and innovation, right? So it's like, yeah, you gotta, there's like a disconnect. It's like there's a disconnect in like how we approach things, but how we really feel. And it's kind of wanting to stay, you know, not venture too far away from what we're used to, right? So that's that South Node, the lessons. And then we also got Pluto, which is the transformation and the shadow stuff. And I'm like, okay. So, you know, my head's running, and I started to hear songs in my head, and I'm like, what the hell? So I heard, "Here Comes the Hot Stepper." And I laughed because I was like, oh, okay, Spirit, I'm channeling Aries, right? And I'm like, so you start playing "Here Comes the Hot Stepper." Like, yeah, here comes the fire sign, right? So I'm chuckling, and then I heard "Blame It on the Rain." And then "Girls Just Want to Have Fun." And then I'm like, what in the hell's going on? So I'm like, okay, I can't like, so I started writing everything down. Then I heard "Young, Wild and Free," "Dilemma" by Nelly, "All the Things She Said" by Tattoo. And then I'm like, okay, let me write these down. And then I go, okay, let me look up when these are and whatever. And it's like "Girls Just Want to Have Fun," 1982, "Blame It on the Rain," 1989, "Here Comes Hot Stepper," 94, and then "Young, Wild and Free," "Dilemma," and "All the Things She Said." "Dilemma" and "All the Things She Said" are 2002. "Young, Wild and Free" is 2011. And then I saw 2002, and I was like, that's kind of like it's mirroring. It's almost like nothing's really changing. It's like, if you look at your life from the beginning to where you are now, it's like it's the same. Like, we're not getting anywhere. And then I'm like, okay, well, yeah. And then I heard "Liberation, Sacrifice, Salvation from Damnation." I'm like, okay, I'm writing this all down. And then I heard "Alrighty Then," like Ace Ventura. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I heard again, "Here Comes the Hot Stepper." And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, what? This is wild. And then it was like this just came to me, like the Fish, Pisces, Gemini, and then Cancer, 69, you know, how Cancer is, and then the O2, and I'm like, these all mirror each other. If you fold them in half, right, like you can make them fit on top of each other. So I'm like, there's a mirroring here. I'm a mirroring, and I'm like, okay, reflection. Okay, well, we're on Aries, right? That's the first sign in the zodiac. It's ruled by the 1st house, you know, the sun and Mars. So it's like, okay, reflection, take a look at yourself. There's a need to look at yourself. And I'm like, okay, there's a need to look at yourself. Liberation, sacrifice, South Node. I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, okay, salvation from damnation. We need to free ourselves from karma, right? Due to choosing, you know, we have to step out of our comfort zone to make things balance, to free ourselves from karma, salvation from damnation. Ace Ventura, "Alrighty Then," it's making a decision. Here Comes the Hot Stepper. it's moving forward. It's like a new path, a new passion, a new desire. It's moving forward. And then I looked and I was like, what do the dates have to do with anything? But 1982 is 1010. It's like, okay, that's significant, right? So, and then 1989. And I'm like, okay, well, that's 27. I'm like, okay, 27. Well, that's 9. But then when I pulled, right, these heaven and hell cards, they're freaking so cool. But anyways, when I pulled these, I was like looking through them, and I'm like, okay, what the numbers or whatever, and I'm trying to like get a feel for them, and I'm starting to see synchronicities with the numbers here, and then synchronicities with the numbers in the deck that was popping up, and then 27 popped up on the deck, and I'm like, okay, what the hell? I'm like, there's a lot of synchronicities here. So 27 could be a significant number for you, or the number 9, the number 5, 3, 11. You could be seeing 1010. I just heard 999, 333, 555. Like, there's so many. It's nuts, but it's like I keep hearing it's Judgment Day. It's Judgment Day. It's time to get moving. You need to drop your old ways of thinking. You need to stop blaming everybody else for everything. You need to stop. It's like there's this, having to reflection, right? So it's like mirroring, reflection. You need to take a look in the mirror. There's a need, and it's like I don't feel, that's the thing is I'm an Aries sun, and I have Aries pretty heavy in my chart, but I also have, Cancer and Scorpio and all that. But it's like, and those are heavy too. But I'm like, I don't feel like this. This isn't my energy. And so I don't know if it's someone who has Aries highly aspected in their chart, or just somewhere. Moon, rising, Venus, North Node, Jupiter, whatever. If you have it even highly aspected, if you have an Aries in your energy around you, this could also pertain to them. But so I'm kind of, when I get channeling, it goes so fast. And I was just like, I should be recording this because now I'm going to have to go back through it and nobody's going to be able to follow me anyway. So then I pulled out, I pulled out the life situation cards, oracle cards, so that I can get an idea to figure out kind of where we're coming from, what we're talking about. And I was kind of sitting and just, just kind of taking them in from a distance and watching. And I'm like, seek balance amid the chaos and find harmony within yourself. And I'm like, okay, that's, find harmony within yourself. I'm like, seek balance. And I saw the liberation, and I thought Libra, okay. And then I saw South Node, right? Sacrifice. I'm like, Scorpio, that's transformation. And, the Pluto is a transformation. And I noticed, then it was like I didn't pay attention to the words. I was looking at the images, and all I saw was the duality dance. I saw D-Day, like Judgment Day. It's D-Day. And then worthy goal, like keep your eye on the prize, get focused, get to the heart of the matter, get to the center of things. It's time to move. It's time to, it's time to it's like stab your heart and let it out. And I got that. And so then I started to notice with the elements in what their colors are, etc. And I was like, okay, well, in the center, right, there's Aries, passion, the core of self, right? So it's like the thing that drives us, our identity, ourselves. And then I saw surrounded by emotion. I'm like, okay, well, there's emotion there, but it's surrounded by yellow, by air. It's surrounded by air. And on the very outside, there's brown. Okay, outside. So our exterior, what we're showing to the world. What are we showing to the world? We're showing to the world that we're calm, we're grounded. Okay, but we're not. And it's like if you think about it, air, water, fire. Water on top of fire is nothing. Your passion is out. There's nothing. Nothing's going to help. Nothing's going to help bring that water to the surface. There's too much thought. There's too much logic on top. It's just going to hold it all down, right? So I'm like, okay, this is somebody, and then I go over here and I see the red in the center with his suit surrounded by the yellow. And I'm like, okay, well, there's air and fire work phenomenal together, right? And it's almost like this, we're coming, it's like things are bubbling to the surface. It feels like things are bubbling to the surface with even with the direction that the songs were going in my head. I was like, what the hell? All the things she said, like running through my head. It's like someone, I don't know. I just get this really strong feeling that like somebody's been stuck in a karmic cycle. Girls just want to have fun. Not worrying about anything, but, doing whatever they want. It's all about them. They just want to have fun. They don't want responsibility. They don't want to do anything, right? Blame it on the rain. Got to blame it on something. Blame it on the rain. Blame it on the stars that fall at night. Just don't put the blame on you. Don't put the blame on me. Just blame it on anything else, right? Lack of responsibility. Lack of accountability. No response. Like you don't want to be responsible for anything. You just want to, go have fun. That's it. You don't want to worry about anything. You like don't want to deal with the actual shit that you need to deal with. And then it's like, here comes the hot stepper. It's like, okay, well, it's getting a little uncomfortable now, right? I feel like I'm kind of walking on hot coals. Like, oh, this is not comfortable. I'm not comfortable. And then it's kind of like, okay, well now, dilemma, Nelly. Okay, well now I'm moving on in my life. Now I'm getting in hot water. I'm not making good decisions, right? I'm getting involved in third-party situations. I mean, it's like lusting after somebody. It's like seeing someone across the street. I don't know if you've ever seen the video from Nelly, but it's like you see somebody across the street. Somebody just moved in. They step out of the van. She's wearing short little shorts, and you're just like, hey. And it's like, what do? You go once first because you're just like, there's no emotion. You're leading everything with lust, desire. There's like no accountability, no thinking, no nothing. But on the outside, you look super cool, calm, collected, grounded. You probably look super responsible, but for whoever in the collective that this registers for, or somebody going through something like this, I bet they're not the best at relationships. They're not good with emotion, but they have mastered an art of being calm. But you probably haven't seen this person grow very much over the years. I mean, when you look back at it, are they still, maybe they don't party as much, but when it comes to certain things, their career, because they have the pentacles on the outside, right? They look very grounded to everybody. On the outside, maybe their career, they've gone really, really far. And they seem very successful. But behind closed doors, right? Behind this mask, they're not what people think. And they're very, they lack accountability. They don't have a lot of emotional depth. They probably focus on pentacles a lot. And they could focus on just fire. Fire without any true oomph behind it is going to fizzle out. I know. I was young once. Lots of fire. It fizzles fast. And your attention, it wanes from thing to thing because you have to, it's like dopamine hits. You got to like stoke the fire. So you're constantly trying to go toward things to kind of keep it going. New passions, third-party situations. Girls just want to have fun. Blame it on the rain. Don't blame it on me. Blame it on anybody else. It was my fault, right? Like, I'm perfect. See how cool, calm, and collected I am? Like, I'm super grounded. I'm super successful. And it's like, you're fucking empty. you're not taking accountability for anything. And it's like, how long have you been doing this? You're like, you're going through life leaving a path of destruction of like other people that you've plowed over that were probably really good people, that wore their heart on their sleeves, that didn't wear a mask, that tried to face their lessons, face their karmic lessons, right? They make the decisions. They make the decisions to work on themselves and to face all assets of themselves. So it's like, for those of you that are dealing with this or with somebody, it's like in this image, I can't even tell if I can get it to see it like really well. But in this image, it's like he's sitting on a swing, but you can't really see that from far away. And I noticed that, and it's like, okay, well, he's sitting on a swing. What is he doing? Ultimately, he's not being grounded, right? I'm going to stay up in the air. I'm going to stay. And one of the things that I wrote that kept coming out was the fish in Pisces, right? The dreamer, the la la land. Nothing against Pisces, but it's like, that's just the sign. You know, they're just they can be, and if, especially since this person doesn't seem like they're kind of on the right track, right? Because not all Pisces are like this, but it's like the ones that still have to learn the lessons, right? It's like the dreamer, la la land, delusional, rose-colored glasses, like deliberately ignoring things so that they don't have to deal with it. And it's like, okay, like, you don't want to deal with anything, you know, so what do? You put on a mask, right? You hide your true self, not only to the world, but also to yourself, right? Because, like I said, like liberation, sacrifice, all this reflection, this mirroring, it's time to look in the mirror. It's time to look at your reflection. Then I'm like, it looks, he's like stuck to the wall with his hands out, like Christ on the cross. And I'm like, yeah, dude, you're not Jesus. 2, I'm like, okay, it feels like the feeling I get is just very, like I said, it's like irritable, agitated. It's like something's making me step out of my comfort zone and it's really pissing me off. And it almost feels like I don't have to fucking deal with this. It's a very egotistical frame of mind. It's weird. It's like everything is just centered around me and what I want. That's it. Nobody else matters. And then I kind of got that, right? Like that with like that Jesus-like pose. And I also saw this as this brick wall behind this. This person doesn't let anybody get past that. It's so hardened over the years of not dealing with anything, not dealing with making good decisions, with balancing things out and being selfless and not putting themselves first all the time and lacking accountability and responsibility. It's like they've got this hardened layer behind them. You're not getting through it. And it's like, I'll be damned. I will fall to my death and suffer my fate of karmic cycles for the rest of my life before I let anybody break down and see what's beneath. It's like this person is like so fearful because they've let it build up for so long. It just keeps building and building and building. They're so fearful. They don't want to face it. And with this going back to 1982, that's when Girls Just Want to Have Fun came out. It's like to now, it feels like this is a lifelong thing. It's like, how long has this person been doing this, right? It's been very long. And it's to a point now, like I said, when I saw this, I'm like, okay, you've got all 4 colors of the elements, and then with the white on the outside, right? I get with that spirit. So it's like the pentacle with the 5 points and all that. Okay, so all the elements. So, but I see this and I'm like, okay, all 4 elements. Here's an axis. That's the Wheel of Fortune. There's the axle. It's going to turn. Fixed signs, right? What's on the Wheel of Fortune? The fixed signs. They don't change. They're not adaptable. They're not mutable. No, they're stubborn as shit. They don't want to change. They want to stay just like that. And the universe is like, fine, stay there. But the wheel's turning. And I feel like this person is like hanging on the side of the wheel. Like one more turn and they're done. They're just stuck with like karmic, terrible cycles for the rest of their life. This is the year of the 9, right? 2025. So it's the time of endings. It's transformations. It's the time to get it done. Pluto in Aquarius. It's time to transform, to be a rebel, to find, new ways to get out of those old beliefs that we had, those things that we were conditioned to do as children and we've learned and that are all around us. Go against the grain, right? That's what Aquarius is all about. Go against the grain. Be weird. Who cares what people think, right? Let your freak fly. It's like, do it, because who gives a shit? But it's like, I get this person it's like they're almost fearful to let their true self show, because there's like this, like I said, like this there's just this ego, this very high sense of self, but deep down there's not, because I have like tension in my middle back and I have this anxiety and my voice is kind of raspy and I kept having to clear it before I hit record. So it's like, I don't know, Aries, but here's the thing is like, okay, Aries is, y'all are the warriors, right? You're the leaders. You start things off. And I don't know, and we're brave, right? We have passion. We're brave. We take on really tough jobs. We have tons of courage. And I don't think I've ever met an Aries that wasn't extremely passionate, extremely loyal. It was like, no matter what you do, you give it your all. More than that, right? So I almost have this feeling that I don't think that, it's weird because it's like, I don't think that this is a main Aries sign. It almost feels like it's someone maybe in your chart. Could be another fire sign, right? But here's the center, the start of the zodiac, Aries, the heart of it. Like you got Saturn, Virgo, and 5. Saturn is taskmaster. It's almost like you're the person for the job. Someone in your life, your fire, your passion, your direction, show them how to show emotion, right? Aries, I am fearless. Do we really give a shit what people think about us? No, because we're confident. We don't give a shit. I mean, we do, but we get over things quickly most of the time. And it's like, yeah, well, fuck you. Okay. And then 5 minutes later, you're like, good. And then you're bouncing around your house again, listening to music. It's like, we don't hold on to shit very long. We move on really quick. Like I said, that fire, it's like whatever gets that spark going, as long as you don't keep feeding it, it fizzles out, right? So it's like you're the person for the job. You're strong enough for this, ambitious enough, courageous enough. That is you. You're like the fucking superhero of the zodiac. So it's like, Aries on the job. It's like you gotta help. And if this is you, it's like, get back to your center. Remember who the fuck you are. Get moving. Right? Don't stay in yourself. No, don't stay in that karma. Staying with those cycles, because you initiate things. You make shit happen. This is the year, do it. And if this isn't you, it's someone else. There's such a need to, really, you already know. If there's a truth that needs to be said, with Virgo here, and being in it's Aries, it's like, we speak truth with passion. and not to be mean, because we don't want anybody to sugarcoat anything for us, right? We don't want anybody else to like hold us with little white gloves and, you know, like we're fluffy little bunnies. It's like, give it to me fucking straight. We don't have time, right? We don't have time. We got shit to do. So it's like, give it to me straight. Okay, that's my fucking problem. You got like an attitude for a second, then you're like, okay, cool, thanks. Right? But then what? Then we think about it and we're like, okay, how the fuck are we going to fix this? Because we don't want to look like assholes. No, we want to be the best. Number one. It's like, I just feel like this really needs, it's so crazy because on the bottom of this card it says fresh ideas. I really think this needs a fresh approach. Like this person, it's almost like something needs to light a fire under their ass. Something. So if you know a person like this in your life and, you know, you can help them, even if it's tough love. And I understand that this is a lot to put on one person. Obviously, you don't have to do it, but that's what we do. We motivate people because we have enough motivation for us and an army, but we motivate people, right? We're the fucking emperor. Like, that's what we do. So I just feel like it's like I almost get this feeling of doom. Like if this and then with Aries season, I wrote Pisces. I'm like, okay, we're in Pisces season. This is for the Aries collective. Something like now, like this needs to happen by Aries season. Somebody needs to be on their way to at least recognizing this or something by Aries season. I just kept getting that. And I'm like, but then I saw the song Young, Wild, and Free. And I'm like, Young, Wild, Free. Okay, when did that come out? October 2011. I'm like, okay, October, the 10th month. Young. I'm like, young. Okay. Then I saw this. I'm like, young. Yeah, like 10th month is the Wheel of Fortune. The number 10, that's the Wheel of Fortune, right? That's what I get from this, the Wheel of Fortune. And I thought, young, okay. South Node. Our comfort zone. Karma from all of our lives. This is our comfort zone. Young. This is the approach they've been taking their whole life. Girls just want to have fun. Blame it on the rain, right? It's like it's just partying and no accountability, right? So I'm like, okay, this is young. Wheel of Fortune. Y'all get a hold of this now. We're giving you a chance. The Wheel of Fortune. It's karma. It's the karmic wheel. It's going to turn. You too grown. You've been dealing with this for too long now. It's time for a change. And then I heard wild. Wild. Okay, yeah, it's all right. 20 is the Judgment card. When I saw this, I saw D-Day, Judgment Day, wild. Someone has not been taking accountability, has not been responsible. Their judgment day is coming. Their judgment day is coming. Free. 11. The Justice card. Free. You have a choice. You have a choice. If you make the right decision and you liberate yourself, face the shit you've been ignoring, have atonement, right? Sacrifice, your pride, your ego, for salvation from damnation. You have a choice. The Justice card. And then it's like Ace Ventura. Alrighty then, see? Making a decision. Here comes the hot stepper. Aries to the motherfucking rescue. I'm telling y'all, I know it's so crazy. This is how my mind works. And when I channel, it goes all over the place. But it's like this, loyalty. It starts off like this, restitution. Restitution. You cannot go through your whole life blaming everybody else, hurting people along the way, shutting people out, not dealing with your emotions, and expecting to continue to have good karma because you look pretty on the outside. No, it doesn't work like that. Eventually, the wheel turns. Karma catches up to your ass. Because you can only slide through for so long. So I get restitution. 6 plus 9 is 15. 15. Deck. 1 plus 5, 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. That's a lover's card. Restitution. Got to balance things out, right? Lovers and the devil. You got to balance things out. I feel this so strongly. Fighting it, and it's getting worse. Of like, I mean, when we say like how many fucks do we have? I have 0 fucks left. This person, but there's such a wall, there's such a cement wall around everything that like being nice to people from, right? But it's not emotion. It's pentacle and fire. It's literally sex, money, greed. The devil. 6 plus 9, 15. The devil. Oh, this, and then with 69, that's Cancer. Cancer is also in the 4th house, right? The house of home, but it deals with mother and child and the relationship between the two. And with this being child, when this, with this being young, going all the way back, seeing this 4th house and the mother, all that stuff, it could be somebody who has childhood wounds, maybe abandonment wounds. Maybe they have issues with their mother from childhood, right? It's like, okay, it's almost like, you know, you look at the restitution card and it's like, you know, your angels have been carrying you long enough, right? It's like, okay, they're getting tired. They can't do it anymore. It needs to atone for the things that they've done. And I got fertility and fruitfulness. So with that, I get the pentacles, right? And this like empress healing energy, right? But it's very nurturing. Again, I get the air signs. See, like, what card? It does. It kind of reminds me of that, like call to action. Like, hey, here's your sign, right? Do you hear? Do you hear the warning? Do you hear the horn? We're trying to let you know. It's like, I don't know. And it's going to that. And this reminds me of the mother. I'm just kind of wondering, up. Yeah, it almost feels like, hey, pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Something in a cup, there's a snake. It's like your toxicity. Your cup is like your cup isn't filled with emotion. It's like you're drinking in and pouring out toxic everything. It's poison. It's not healthy. It's weird. It's like, hello, you know, it's time. And then love and submission, right? So we've got pentacles, we've got swords, we've got cups. Motherfucking Aries. We are the youngest zodiac, by the way. We're the first. But we're the winners. We're the victors. The warriors. We're triumphant, right? We get carried up on high because we usually are victorious in whatever we do. And we don't back down. We don't. We're the youngest zodiac, but we have the most courage. We don't back down. It's almost like, you go in as a kid, you're still a dreamer and you don't have all these fears because you haven't, lived life enough yet and gotten all the bullshit thoughts in your head. So it's kind of like we're like that. We just kind of rush in without thinking sometimes, but we're the emperor. So we come out victorious. It's just, we got the luck of the draw, I guess. But that's loyalty. Loyalty. Y'all are like so passionate. And people don't think that, but we really are. We're fierce. Like, where does the fierceness come from? It's like our fierceness comes from our passion, from our loyalty, from our devotion. Like, what you just say about my mama? I will fight you, hold my hoops. Like, it's like, we don't even care. It's like, should we say shit? And we're like, why did I say that? Like, it's just, that's how it is, right? Most fucking loyal. That's all the elements. So it's like this is something this is a big deal. Like I said, all the elements on this, all the elements on this. This is like now. There's a reason why I ended up going through all of this, because normally I do not do readings like this. But it was like, I'm channeling all of this and the ideals are flowing. This is huge. There's something here. This is the year. There's some major and karmic shit going down. And it's been in the cards like so frequently that there's something. So it's out there for you guys. I will do an actual spread for you guys, after this. I just had to get this message out to, if you know somebody, if you can help some, whatever, spread the message. If you can help anyone, I don't know, but you're the warriors, right? You guys are start it. So if you know somebody like this and you feel so inclined to take initiative, do it. But if you don't, and you board something and it can teach people or show people how you do what you do, how you take control and you're courageous and you manage to handle that fire with the emotion and everything else, and you don't shut people out, right? If you have to, show them how we can have a resting bitch face, but also, be the sweetest sign in the zodiac too. Like, do it, teach them. Speak out, teach, show something, right? There's a need. There's a really big need, because it does feel like, it feels like someone is like drowning. It's like it's hard to breathe, but it's also really hard to keep like this pent up energy in. But when I got the 6 and the 9, I thought, oh God, yeah, that's the devil. Like, it was 15, right? I went straight to 15 and I was like, oh yeah, there's something. And then the way that it was like showing what was going on, and I'm like, yeah, this is someone who's here. It's not if you look at where all the red is. Not trying to be, but it's like, if it really feels like this person, look at this sticking out. It really feels like this person is a spot where it's destructive. It's destructive behavior. And it's like he's like this person, I say he, but I don't know why. I think it's because I assume I have female viewers. But it's like, this person is at a point where they're leaving a path of destruction. And they're old enough that they could have children. They could have spouses. They could have multiple partners. But they could seem completely successful on the outside, but they are wrecking other people emotionally. And I really don't give a shit, right? Like, I'm not, it's not like it's not like, I should be, well, they need to deal with it themselves. No, because people that really care shouldn't have to deal with people who aren't facing their own shit because they don't want to, or they're afraid, or they want to go through life, being irresponsible. Grow the fuck up. This has been, literally, I'm telling you, this has been going on for so long. This person's a grown-ass adult. And I really do feel like 30s, 40s, 50s, like they're there and they're successful and probably very grounded, probably seem very calm. But here's the thing, us Aries know, if somebody is too calm, that's not normal. Why? Because we have to show emotion. Everybody does, right? But if somebody seems unfazed and just super chill all the time, that's a gigantic fucking red flag. So, I mean, think about it, right? It's because when I think of, different people in the past who have done not so great things and ended up, behind bars and all that stuff, it's like everybody thought they were the nicest people ever. Oh, Ted, yeah, I know him. I worked next to him for years. He's so sweet. Yeah, they usually are. Like, because they get so good at hiding stuff. And I'm not saying that this person is like that. I'm just saying years of conditioning. You learn how to mask yourself and you become the chillest of the chill, the coolest of the cool, until you turn into American Psycho. So it's like, and if you're not doing that, you're damaging people in other ways. And this I'm telling you, I get such a strong feeling. People around this person are getting hurt, or they have been hurt, and there's like no accountability. And it doesn't feel like this is new. It's like I feel this path of destruction. And now I'm feeling such a agitated feeling inside, and it's obsessive feeling, codependence feeling, toxic feeling. It's like there's the devil about to take hold of these people and never let go, and then they fucked up from that. Like something needs to happen. So y'all the warriors, right? You call the army. I'm putting this on y'all to let you guys know. And I hope this helps somebody. Thank you so much for stopping in. I'll see you soon. Peace.